Love bombing is a psychological manipulation technique coined in the 1970s by members of the Unification Church of the United States, which employs affection and attention to influence an individual. Utilized across a spectrum of positive and negative intentions, it is often adopted as an effective tactic for cult recruitment, preying on human desire for companionship and affirmation. Clinical psychologist Oliver James recommended this method in appropriate contexts, such as parental efforts to address emotional issues in children. Yet, psychologists also warn that love bombing can be the genesis of a cycle of abuse. Modern social media platforms have potentiated the impact of love bombing as they provide an opportunity for the manipulator to maintain a rapid, incessant contact with the potential victim. In this regard, psychiatrist Dale Archer underlines the need to recognize the stages of this manipulation with the ID acronym: intense idealization, devaluation, discard, reap. To identify this pattern, one should stop, look, and listen, and seek support from trusted individuals for distancing oneself from the abuser. A typical love bombing scenario begins with the victim being overwhelmed with adoration, generous gifts, and future promises of an ideal relationship. This grand affection display may deceive the victim into believing in an inexplicable, grandly fortuitous romantic encounter. Yet, this ephemeral euphoria dissipates once the victim begins to assert individuality or express interests beyond the relationship. Pandemonium ensues as the manipulator retracts all positive reinforcements, replacing them with toxic punitive measures including shouting, berating, manipulation, silent treatment, or even physical abuse. Recognizing these signs is key to safeguarding oneself from entering a debilitating cycle of emotional harm and abuse. The phrase has been attributed to the manipulative strategies employed by pimps and gang members to control their victims. However, excessive affection or attention isn't love bombing unless it's part of a broader design or pattern of abuse. Archer elaborates that the distinguishing factor between love bombing and genuine courtship is what transpires once a couple becomes official if extravagant expressions of love persist indefinitely. If actions align with words and there is no period of depreciating value, it's likely not love bombing. Although such relentless attention might eventually become irritating, it's not intrinsically harmful. British author and psychologist Oliver James further propounded love bombing as a method for parents to support their problematic children. He characterized it as spending exclusive time pampering and showering your child with affection, and within acceptable limits, catering to their every desire. Heidi Scrimgeour, a writer for the Daily Express, experimented with this technique on her son in 2011. Her conclusions were, it's a given that lavishing a child with affection will positively affect their behavior. But what astonished her was how much her own behavior was altered. Love bombing permitted her to view her child with a refreshed perspective. Her attitude towards him softened, and he seemed to flourish under the added wave of positive attention.